This is Robin on the Road, your concierge for all things travel. And today I'd like to take you on the road with me to Daytona, Florida, and the Daytona International Speedway and Motorsports Hall of Fame of America Museum. Pack your bags, let's go. On a recent on-the-road trip to Daytona Beach, Florida, I had the pleasure of taking a tour of the Daytona International Speedway and the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America Museum. Although you may not consider a rainy day the best for such a tour, I assure you, with the track closed to racers, you have an opportunity to see the track and winner's circle up close. Please smack that bell and subscribe and give me a like or a rumble. The Daytona International Speedway is best known for the Daytona 500, but also the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the Rolex 24. Tours are given of the Speedway, and the track is home to the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America Museum. Daytona Beach, Florida is considered the birthplace of NASCAR. According to the official NASCAR website, on December 14, 1947, Bill France Sr. will lead a group meeting at the Streamline Hotel. The following year, NASCAR was incorporated. Prior to the Speedway being built, racers would conduct the races on the sand beaches of Daytona Beach. Crowds would line the dunes as cars would reach speeds of over 200 miles an hour on this hard-packed, wide, sandy beach. 1957, the site of what would become the Daytona International Speedway had its groundbreaking, and in February of 1959, the first Daytona 500 was held. Bill France Sr. will gamble almost everything he owns to build the facility that would become known as the World Center of Racing, and he was intricately involved in the building of the track and facilities. A ticket to the first race could be purchased for $8, and a crowd of 41,000 will attend. Although Johnny Beauchamp, the driver of number 73, a Ford, was thought to win, when the photographs were finally developed, it was found that Lee Petty was actually the victor. Can you imagine the uproar of the fans today waiting for film to develop? It took 3 days for Lee Petty, driver of number 42, and Oldsmobile, to be declared the winner. The Pettys will continue to dominate the 500 for years. The track is a 2.5-mile oval with a 31-degree high banks, allowing for faster speeds. The entire area sits on a 29-acre space. Motorcycle racing will be moved here from the beach in 1961 and become the Daytona 200. In 1962, the Rolex 24 will be added, and this will become North America's most prestigious race. Becoming a 24-hour race in 1966, the track will undergo a $400 million renovation in July of 2013, transforming the Speedway into a state-of-the-art facility. 101,500 spectators can now enjoy the races with upgraded facilities, vendors, and luxury suites. The renovation will be completed in 2016 and awarded Sports Business Journal's Sports Business Award for the Sports Facility of the Year. Now, the approximately 500-acre property hosts racing and other events. Tram tours are held 7 days a week, beginning at 9:30 with the last tour departing at 3 p.m. The tram tour is an on-again, off-again narrated tour taking you all over the complex in about 60 minutes. Prices start at $25 on down with discounts for seniors and veterans. Our tour guide was very knowledgeable and humorous. On our way to the track, we passed the original tunnels race cars were used to enter. Racers were not on the track that day due to the weather, so our tour was able to get down and drive on the track. We had to go through the current tunnel that the racers use nowadays, and it is decorated with Speedway history on both sides. As we drive around the track, it's hard for me to imagine that 4 race cars driving over 100 miles an hour can go side by side on some of these turns. If the track on the turns were held vertical, they would be 4 stories high. Our first stop to get off the tram is at the winner's circle. As you look up into the stadium, you will notice that the seats are all painted in different colors to trick the eye into believing that they are always full. As I look down the pit lane, it's hard to imagine being there during a race. The noise alone would be a distraction. The size and scale of the track is incredible. And as I stood there, I could almost imagine the roar of the engine and the crowds. Yours truly, Robin on the Road, got to go somewhere that most racers never dream of, the winner's circle. As I turned around and looked up into the massive stadium seating, all I could think of was what a rush it must be. You've just won a race and you sit there and you look up at all of those people. The tram tour takes us back through the tunnel, and our next stop is at the Toyota Gate to take a look at the Speedway from the painted stands. As you might expect, the Toyota Gate is a monument to the Toyota's winning race cars. Stepping out and looking over the track actually gave me a desire to be there during a race. I could only imagine what it would be like to hear the crowd cheer when the racer wins and watch him drive donuts through the grass area that's set up just for that occasion. The size of the inner track is also easier to see from here. This area would be packed with drivers, including a campground for them. Crews, press, sponsors, big donors, all on a massive scale. The tour ends where it began, and from here we enter into the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America Museum. The first thing you see when you enter is this year's Daytona 500 winner, Rickie Stenhouse Jr.'s number 40 Chevrolet car. The winning cars are removed immediately from the winner's circle and placed within the museum, confetti and all. They're not cleaned in any way, so you see the car exactly how it appeared after the race. This vehicle will be returned to the driver 3 days prior to the next Daytona 500. I grew up in a sporting household, so the big races were a part of my upbringing. There is, however, a big gap when I got busy with adult life, and it wasn't until the death of Dale Earnhardt at this very track in 2001 that I returned to the racing world. His number 3 Monte Carlo is represented here. While racing is a huge part of this museum, there is so much more than cars here. From boats, motorcycles, karts, vehicles that you can't even begin to imagine are represented. I often think of pioneers as people whose sense of adventure outweighs their fear of death. And this museum is full of men who risk their lives for the thrill of the sport, the power and capability of their vehicles, and the need to go ever faster. It's hard for me to imagine strapping myself into some of these craft and push them and myself to their limit. Walking around, I head to a part of the museum that is dedicated to the beginning of racing in Daytona Beach. I had been to Daytona Beach many times in my life. The sand is packed hard like a road and it's flat and wide. But 276 miles an hour in a convertible on the beach seems like suicidal and impressive as heck at the same time. The museum also includes a multi-seat theater that shows movies of the winners and their races at Daytona. As you exit the museum through recreated pit tubes, don't forget to stop off at the pit stop, the Raceway's gift shop. There's something there for every race fan. Across the street from Daytona International Speedway is the newly constructed Daytona One. With modern hotels, amazing food choices, sports bars, movie theaters, spas, shopping, it's truly an additional tourist destination for that race fan in all of us. Things to know before you go. Daytona International Speedway sits in the middle of Daytona Beach. Even on a good day, traffic is terrible, so pack your patience along with your wallet. A race at Daytona would be something to remember forever. But if you're not here for a race, avoid the area on the weekends of January 19th through the 21st for the Roar Before Rolex and February 18th for the Daytona 500. Check the website for updates. I will provide links in my description. Tram tours of the Daytona International Speedway are conducted 5 days a week, except for late November and the month of December due to the Christmas lights. First tour departs at 9:30 and last tour leaves at 3 p.m. I highly recommend booking your tour ahead of time, especially during the busy summer months or when there's a race in town. Tours are $25 with discounts for seniors and veterans. Children are $20 and 4 and under is free. I highly recommend the tour of the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America Museum and Daytona International Speedway the next time you are in Florida. If not for one of their major races or concerts, Christmas displays, or even the Well Done Tour. Rather, if you're a race fan or just a bystander, you will really be impressed with this tour and come to appreciate the world of racing and the incredible setup that they managed to pull off with all these hundreds of thousands of people. Lastly, I would like to thank you, fellow traveler, for joining me, Robin on the Road, for a tour of the Daytona International Speedway. Although I am not what I would call a race fan, I really did enjoy this tour. History of Daytona 500 and a glimpse into the incredible athletes and their machines. Now check out my latest video on the beautiful and historic Jefferson Hotel in Richmond, Virginia. Please smack that bell and subscribe and show me some love with a like or a rumble. Until that time, this is Robin on the Road, your concierge for all things travel, and I hope to see you out there on a road of your own. Until then, safe travels.